All right, joining us on Pirate Radio Live, former Pirate QB, host of the Holton Ahlers Show, my co-host on the U.S. Sailor Fifth Quarter Call-In Show. He is Holton Ahlers joining us. What's up, Holt?
Clint, what's up, man? Doing good. Hope you are.
I am doing well. Looking forward to this bye week where we can watch some awesome football games and won't have to worry about a pregame or a postgame. We'll be back at it next Saturday, bright and early, 8 a.m. start on the Bud Light pregame tailgate for ECU and Army. And no Holton Ahlers on the U.S. Sailor Fifth Quarter Call-In Show. It takes two baseball players to fill in for one Holton Ahlers. We got our guy DB, Danny Beal. We got Jacob Jenkins Coward joining Caden and I on the fifth quarter. So that is going to be interesting, I think.
Cliff, I'm gonna miss it, man. I got a wedding. Shout out to the people who scheduled a wedding during fall,
Oh,
during
yeah.
football season. But yeah, I got a wedding, and so Caden's gonna hold it down for the football players, and then we got two guys in there who know a little bit of ball. JJC called in, man. He was interesting when he called in this year, so
Yep.
I'm excited to listen to him.
All right. Holt, we sit here midweek, and Mike Houston is the head football coach at East Carolina. The Pirates are practicing. They are planning for their next game. It's kind of business as usual for ECU football, it appears. So now, if that's the case, you got to show up. Look, you've been a part of some good teams here, some teams with bad records. How do you kind of show up to practice? Look, we're still 500. It's not like everything is lost, but the dream season, the season you wanted might not be in reach at this point, but still a lot of football left to go. So as a player, what's going through your mind right now when you know at the outside everybody is thinking doom and gloom?
Look, fans tend to look a little bit deeper into the conference race and into like the playoff race than players do. Players take it 1 week at a time. Now, conference a little bit, you'll look a little bit more. But let's be honest, we're 1-1 in conference. The top two teams from the conference make the conference championship. The conference championship is still, attainable in a player's eyes. I know there's going to be fans out there saying we just got, crushed by Charlotte, and that is true. But I'm saying as a player, they're looking at it. There's going to be two teams in the conference championship. There's the chances of both teams being undefeated in conference are very, very low. So you tell the team, let's go just win out these conference games, and we'll still have a chance to at least compete for a conference championship.
Yeah, you look at a lot of conferences. We referenced the Big 12. I could see like a Big 12 team with three losses in their championship. But we've talked about the
Exactly.
American as well, that one of the two teams in the AAC is going to have at least two losses, in my opinion. Just I think it's a parity is abound in the American. I don't think these military academies are going to run the table. They could. It'd be awesome, but I just don't think that's going to happen. So, yeah, that's a good point, Holt, that we're going to have a team with at least one, probably two losses playing for a title.
Yeah, and that's where it is. I mean, look, as embarrassing as Charlotte's loss was, like it doesn't kill the season. There's still hope. There are schedule in the conference. We're dodging a lot of these big name teams. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, Navy and Army having the years they did, we didn't anticipate that at the beginning of the year. But I think the Army week next week, I wouldn't be surprised if ECU goes up there and wins that. And people call me crazy. Look, Army's getting told how great they are. ECU's getting told all bye week how much they suck. Coach Houston, Coach Harrell have played against triple option teams before. To beat a triple option team, you got to have a really good D line, which is what we have. So I like the stars aligning for us to actually win that game and kind of flip the season around.
Army has not played great competition. To their credit, they have pretty much blown out everybody that you put in front of them. Their offense has been a machine at this point. I'm with you. People that say it's a guaranteed Army win, no, I don't think so. Would I pick ECU to go up there and win it right now? Probably not. But I think it'll be like most of these games are, close in the second half, close in the start of the fourth quarter, and we'll kind of see what happens from there. Question for you, Holt. We got this yesterday, earlier this week on the show. Who's the starting quarterback for East Carolina when they go to Army?
I think Caden Hauser is. Surprisingly, I think this is the perfect time to make the change, and this might have been the plan all along. Once Garcia started throwing those interceptions, the bye week might have been the week to kind of say, let's give Hauser his chance. All it supposedly it came down to the final day during camp or the final days in camp, and if so, if it was that close, then why not give Hauser a chance? Now I know he didn't play the best versus Charlotte. But at the same time, no quarterback going in down 20 at halftime is going to go out there and play the best. I mean, you got to press a little bit when you're down that much. You got to take shots you normally wouldn't take. So I would expect him to be getting the 1 reps. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Garcia, I guess. But I think Hauser's a guy. And historically, as a quarterback that played for Coach Houston, whatever quarterback he lets speak to the media is the guy. And Hauser spoke to the media after the Charlotte game.
Interesting. Yeah. Holton Ahlers joining us here on Pirate Radio Live. Holt coming up, drop Wednesday night, I guess, players roundtable with Holton Ahlers, Miles Berry, and others. Who's on this roundtable, Holt, and what were some of the topics hit?
Yeah, obviously it was me and Caden always, and then Miles Berry, Gerard Stringer, and Noah Henderson. And it was just a good, deep dive into, where the program is now, where it came from, our experiences with Coach Houston. There's been a lot of, chatter on Twitter from former players about experiences with him. And we talked about that, and you talked about how truthful some of that was. And the guys who were posting it too, Gerard and Noah were the guys defending Coach Houston. So we talked about that a little bit. And then, what do you do moving forward? As a player, there's a lot of negativity around the program right now. You don't know if your head coach is going to be there. We all have been in a situation like that before with Coach Mo. So we've actually experienced, going to practice, not knowing each day if your head coach is going to be there. Not saying Coach Houston's that close, but
Right.
we don't know if he is or not. So, those guys are definitely feeling it. So you can just talk about our experiences, our thoughts on the program now.
Yeah, it's a cliche, the old make the main thing the main thing, but you're right. It happens in all walks of life, in all businesses, personal life. You've got to make what's important to you the most important thing. As a player, I guess you can't really worry about that stuff, right? You have to do your job no matter what's happening to your head coach and no matter what's happening outside of the practice line. So it's pretty interesting.
It is, man. And look, there is a little fan in each player that you got to remember. All of those kids grew up playing football, watching football and stuff, and they're tuning into Twitter. They got their alerts
Sure.
on to see if there is an alert of Coach Houston being fired, which hopefully not as one of his former players. But they're tuned into it at least a little bit.
Holton Ahlers joining us, coming off a wild weekend in college football where a lot of top teams and number 11 included lost games. And now we get to kind of the marquee weekend where you've got all these big-time matchups, Penn State and USC. You've got the Red River rivalry, don't say shootout, between Texas and Oklahoma. Of course, everybody, Oregon and Ohio State is going to be awesome on Saturday night. LSU, Tennessee as well. So you've got all these marquee games coming up, Holton. Which one of those are you looking forward to the most? Which one is going to be kind of most determining what happens at the end of this year in the playoff?
I think Texas is one to kind of keep an eye on. Look, you never know what's going to happen in that game. They're, obviously look really, really good right now. With Quinn Ewers coming back, you just don't know how he's going to play. If he goes out there and struggles, do you see Arch Manning? Now, do I expect him to struggle? Not at all. I think he's the top quarterback in the nation. I think they literally have probably the top 2 quarterbacks of the top 5 in the nation on their team. But that's just one to keep an eye on for, sub storylines. And then obviously Ohio State, Oregon's going to be a big one. Oregon going to the Big Ten. That's a huge one for just the future of the Big Ten. So I'm interested to see that as well.
Let me ask this question to you guys. I got completely shot down yesterday. Let me ask Holton Ahlers on the screen and Danny, who's directly behind this phone right here, Danny Beal. Quinn Ewers comes out, has another great game. Texas runs the table, wins the championship. Any chance he wins the Heisman? Or has he missed too much action?
No, Danny I think he definitely could win the Heisman.
No, as in he should win it.
Okay, Danny says yes. Holton, okay. Thank you. At least I'm getting some different opinions here. Yesterday, I received all no's. I still think that. Now, I don't know if they'll do all that, but if they do, because this Heisman race, you had Nico from Tennessee. He's done. Milroe's still very much up there, but they just lost. Cam Ward keeps putting himself in these terrible situations, but getting out of them. So you got to give him credit. Would they really give it to the Boise State running back? He should certainly get a look and maybe even win it. He's already got 1,000 yards this season, but will they give it to a Boise State running back? I don't know. So I'm just trying to figure out, why Quinn Ewers isn't a part of this talk if he's able to win games.
No, I think he will. He missed games that weren't big games for Texas, so it wasn't like he was missing. He'll be in the big games, those big SEC games. Plus, you got to think, and Clip, I said it, first of all, I hope you took the Cam Ward over 300 yards bet. Did you take it?
I did. Thank you very much. Good call, Holt.
Yes, sir. Let's go. I mean, Cam Ward's been my Heisman since week one. I said, week one in the best bets actually that Cam Ward was going to win the Heisman, and firmly think he'll at least should be the favorite right now. The Boise State kid is also balling. I think he'll be at least in the Final Four. But if Quinn Ewers goes out and dominates the SEC and they're number one team in the country, there's no reason he shouldn't be sitting there at the end.
Since Cade Norman's been making me a lot of his stuff he's putting out there, let me mention him on this show. So Saturday night post game, Holton said, "Yeah, Cam Ward over 300." I was like, "All right, I'll lock that in." Caden's going with Miami. As Caden's leaving, he's like, "Hey, you tailing me tonight?" And I said, "Nah, I took Holton's." And he does some kind of Jan Brady, Marsha. Like, it's always Holton, gets jealous. So I was like, all right, fine. And he doesn't even know this. I tailed him too. That was a big fat giant loser. So thanks, Caden, for the loser. Holt, thank you for the winner, buddy.
Come on, Cliff. You can't listen to that guy. He's one of those guys that love to live bet and love to do all that. And when he's not, I only like live betting if I'm at the game and I feel the game. But Caden just likes to throw money on things when we're sitting there in the fifth quarter getting ready to roll.
Good stuff. Enjoy both of you guys. Caden is becoming a star with his videos and everything. So I guess you guys will be putting out picks this week, even though ECU's not playing. So.
Yeah. The picks will keep going. So yeah, Friday we'll release them. Caden maybe Thursday night. I don't know. There's a lot of production in those things nowadays. It's getting to his head, so we're getting bigger and better. We hope, but yeah, man, we're having fun with it.
Holt, good stuff, man. Appreciate you joining us. So we've the players roundtable's coming out Wednesday on YouTube, and then you'll have another pod dropping Thursday.
Yep.
All right, good deal. Holton, thank you for joining us. Have a good weekend off. Hell, 2 weekends off, I guess, from us, and we'll see you a few weeks from now.
Yes, sir. See you, Clip.